Hey guys, this is SeetherCord here, and welcome to my newest video for today. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the furry fandom on YouTube, YouTube within itself, and also the whole concept of podcasting and how it's kind of taking over the YouTube sphere and might potentially take over the furry YouTube sphere as well. Now, I would say within the past 5 or so years, in the case of YouTube's existence from 2005 to it is 2020, with 15 whole years, I would say the last 5 have been kind of a downward spiral for YouTube. And also with considering the fact that we have the issue of demonetization a lot of YouTubers having to deal with certain content not being okay with children and everything. Also the discussion of some issues with being of how COPPA is implementing itself into the law and everything and having to enforce it through YouTube, and certain content is not made for certain people. It's definitely made YouTube within itself be a difficult way for YouTubers to make money. And a lot of YouTubers are starting to have to go to other kind of websites or other forms of way to make money off of their content, and more so just use YouTube as a little bit like a hub to get the exposure and then use these other websites or platforms to get the money to support the content in themselves. Now, when it comes to the type of content that you will see now on this platform, it definitely has changed a lot over time. Let's say back in the beginning when YouTube videos were way shorter, people would make more quick comedy-driven sketch comedy videos. And then also after that, there was kind of a whole spiel of making gaming content. And you can still make gaming content today, but you won't get as much success as you used to back then. Because back then, gaming was eventually the biggest thing on the website to do, and now it's not. And then after gaming, there was this whole spiel of kind of making content that's more vlog-like, people doing daily vlogs and everything like that, or talking on the mic like I'm doing right now. And then after that, people are now more so moving to podcasting. Well, instead of just making these pretty decently edited vlog-like videos, people now want to listen more. People are spending a lot more time watching podcasts on YouTube, and people are listening to YouTube videos while doing other things. And that's kind of where I'm taking my channel as well right now. There's still some editing, but overall there definitely is more of a shift with not only myself, but a lot of places on YouTube where people are now focusing more on audio-based content and making podcasts with very little extra editing or visual content as well. And I'm not saying that people still don't enjoy sketch comedy videos or vlogging videos or gaming videos. Some people definitely still do, and that's fine. But I would say that for the most part, the general public of people that watch YouTube videos or take in YouTube content enjoy podcast audio-based content now, since we live a life with a lot of things going on and life is just cutthroat, fast-paced in a lot of places in the world. People don't have as much time to just sit down and only focus on that. People, while they drive, people while they take the bus station or when they take the subway or whatever, or if they're playing video games or they're doing chores around the house, they like to listen to things, and I do that too. And be it either music, if it's not music, instead it can either be listening to podcasts or listening to people talk. And I also used to really love watching gaming content back when I was younger, and I still do, but I used to actually watch the physical gameplay, but now I more so like to listen to the gameplay and listen to the commentator in the Let's Play videos. And you can definitely see this with a lot of YouTubers on this site, especially the very big ones that are starting to move away from a lot of other types of content, specifically now for podcasting, because there's a lot of podcasts now. It used to be kind of rare to see YouTubers do podcasting or just seeing podcasts in general, but now you're seeing a lot more people do that. I've done it, but then I kind of went away from it, but I will be going more into it, which I'll discuss more later in this video. To give a few examples of YouTubers that are going away from their usual type of content, or at least adding into a case of adding in podcasts primarily with everything else onto it. One case is H3H3 Productions. Ethan and Hila Klein are pretty much done with their main content. They actually just made one recent video involving the new pandemic. But however, besides that, they've mostly only just been focusing on their podcast known as the H3 Podcast, which I enjoy quite a bit. Not fully, there are sometimes where I get really bored by it, but for the most part, that's basically what they do. Another case of a YouTuber going away from their typical kind of format for their YouTube content is Chris Raygun, who is now doing the Snark Tank podcast on his second YouTube channel, which is really entertaining and interesting. I recommend go checking it out. You have the YouTuber Psychic Pebbles do the Schmucks podcast, which is very entertaining to watch as well, in my opinion. You have other big YouTubers such as Jake Paul and Shane Dawson and Niga Higa now move primarily to podcasting as well. And one YouTuber I've always enjoyed watching that only did podcasts pretty much for their YouTube channel and content, and is still doing it to this very day, so they kind of got ahead of the game in a way, is Pat the NES Punk. and he primarily works on the Completely Unnecessary podcast, which is a very good one to listen to if you like video games and such. And with all this going on, you also have to consider the fact that a lot of furry YouTubers are starting to move to this as well, or if you don't think that they are necessarily yet, they eventually will, in my opinion. You have certain furry podcasts that have been going on for quite a bit, such as the Furcast podcast, which was back when I first joined the furry fandom. I really enjoyed listening to them while I was at school and everything. They were really cool. There's also Cord Kitty's podcast, known as Fur's Greatest Podcast in the World, which has been going on for a couple years. And then you have, unfortunately, the abandoned one, which was the Furry YouTuber podcast, which had a lot of furry YouTubers involved with it. And they made a couple of episodes, but then it just basically died out. I don't know exactly what happened or what went wrong. I guess just people just got busy with other projects and people weren't able to really come together to just make them anymore. So that's unfortunate, but they have to do what they have to do. So that's completely all right, and I understand. But yeah, it definitely, in my opinion, would make sense to say that a lot of furry YouTubers and just YouTubers in general are starting to aim more towards podcasting and going to other websites to really host them, and just maybe just putting them on their YouTube accounts as well. Some places that really are big hubs for podcasting are iTunes and SoundCloud and Spotify. Those are really big places. And I also want to take this time in the video to tell you guys that I am going to be bringing back SeetherCast soon. I think my next video will actually be an episode of SeetherCast, hopefully. Crampshy and I are definitely going to be recording a bunch of episodes together, and instead of having maybe a new guest every week, and it's not just myself, now her and I, because we're in the same area now, we can definitely record a bunch of episodes. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. We'll have different topics and news discussions to discuss in our episodes. So definitely look forward to that if you guys definitely enjoy the SeetherCast podcast. And with all that, that pretty much wraps up this video for you guys today. How do you guys feel about podcasting? Do you guys listen to podcasts? Do you not? How do you guys feel about furry YouTubers within the furry fandom going towards making podcast-like content from now on? Do you guys enjoy that? Do you guys not? Also, how do you guys feel about furry YouTubers or just YouTubers in general using YouTube as more of a hub and having other websites or forms of monetary gain to really get money in for their content other than just YouTube itself? Is it the end of YouTube? Will eventually content creators just abandon YouTube altogether? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to me on Patreon as well as my coffee. Also, please consider smashing that like button, turning that notification bell, and subscribing altogether. Also, please consider checking out my main gaming channel known as SeetherCord Games, and also my no commentary gaming channel Seether Chills. All will be linked down in the description down below. I have been SeetherCord, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Okay, you got 4.
That one.
Did you do it on purpose?
No.
You won by 1 pin! You won by 1 pin!
Yay.
What? What the fuck? No, don't Fortnite dance on me. You won by 1 pin.